Hey, welcome back. Today, we're going to dive into a corner of healthcare you've probably never even thought about, but it affects every single doctor you visit. It's called provider credentialing. It's the whole process of making sure a doctor is who they say they are. And honestly, it's been stuck in the dark ages, until now. So let's break down how a digital cure is finally fixing this massive, hidden problem.
So let me just ask you this. In a world where you can do almost anything instantly online, why does it take months, literally months, to verify a new doctor's qualifications? It just sounds kind of crazy, right? Well, that delay, it comes with a massive, and I mean massive, hidden cost.
And the stakes are just staggering. See that number? $7,500. That is how much revenue a hospital can lose per doctor. Per day, they're stuck in this credentialing limbo, unable to see patients. Now, multiply that by 90 or 120 days, and you suddenly realize this isn't a small problem, it's a gigantic financial drain on the whole system.
All right, so how do we fix this mess? Here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll get lost in the old, broken credentialing maze. Then, we'll meet the hero of our story, Credentialing-as-a-Service. We'll look at the cool tech that makes it all possible, check out the huge wins for healthcare, and finally, we'll talk about what's next, the challenges and the future.
Okay, first things first, let's really get our heads around the problem. We're calling this the old credentialing maze, for very good reason. It's complicated, frustrating, and just incredibly slow.
And this is what that maze actually looks like. It starts with a doctor filling out a literal mountain of paperwork. Then, an administrator has to pick up the phone and manually call every medical school, every past employer, to verify every single detail. But here's the craziest part. They have to do this whole thing all over again for every single hospital they want to work at and for every insurance company they want to bill. No wonder the whole process just grinds to a halt for months.
But what if, and hear me out, what if we could replace that tangled maze with a super highway? Well, this is where our hero, Credentialing-as-a-Service, or CaaS for short, enters the scene.
So what is CaaS, really? Well, to put it simply, it's a smart, digital platform that totally automates this verification nightmare. It uses all the good stuff, cloud technology, blockchain, you name it, to create one single, trusted, and super easy to share profile for every doctor, nurse, or therapist out there.
And when you put the two side by side, the difference is just, well, it's night and day. You're talking about taking a process that took 3 to 4 months and shrinking it down to just a few weeks. Slashing admin costs by up to 60%, getting rid of all those little manual errors. And for the doctor, they go from endless stacks of repetitive paperwork to one simple, single digital profile. It's a total transformation.
You know, I absolutely love this analogy, a credential passport. It just clicks, right? Think about it. A doctor gets their license, their education, everything verified once on the platform. From then on, they can just securely share that passport with any hospital or insurance plan they join. No more filling out the same forms over and over and over. For clinicians, this is a huge game changer. Okay, this all sounds amazing, but how does it actually work? What's the magic behind the curtain? Let's take a quick peek under the hood at the tech that makes CaaS a reality. It really boils down to these 4 key pieces. You've got a super secure, HIPAA-compliant cloud to store all the data. Then you have blockchain, which creates a tamper-proof permanent record. You need rock-solid identity management to make sure Dr. Jones is really Dr. Jones. And finally, you have APIs. Think of them as the universal translators that let this system talk to all the other software a hospital uses. Now, blockchain can sound like a super intimidating word, but for what we're talking about here, it's actually pretty simple. Just picture a digital logbook that, once something is written in it, can never be erased or changed. So, once a medical license is verified and added to the chain, it is locked in for good, creating a perfectly trustworthy record. So, why is that such a big deal here? Well, first off, because it's tamper-resistant. It makes credential fraud pretty much impossible, which is a massive win for patient safety. It also creates a perfect, clean audit trail for regulators. And get this, it can even verify that a credential is valid without having to share all the sensitive personal data behind it. Pretty cool, right?
Okay, the tech is cool. I get it. But what about the results? What does this actually mean for the healthcare system in the real world? Let's look at the impact.
First up, speed. CaaS platforms are cutting that 3 to 4 month waiting period down by a whopping 60 to 80%. And that's not just a number. That means doctors get to start seeing patients way faster, which helps cut down wait times for everyone.
Next, let's talk about the money.
By automating all that tedious manual work, hospitals are seeing their administrative costs drop by 40 to 60%. That's real money that can be put back into what actually matters: patient care, new technology, or hiring more staff.
And to put a real number on it, just look at this. For a single 500-bed hospital, we could be talking about savings of up to $200,000 every single year. That is a huge financial impact just from fixing one single broken process.
And it's not just the hospitals that win here. The ripple effect is huge. Insurance companies can build out their networks faster. Telehealth providers can onboard doctors across multiple states way more easily. Basically, everyone in the entire ecosystem benefits when the system just works better. Now look, like any huge technological shift, this isn't some magic wand. The road ahead still has some bumps. It's not quite as simple as just flipping a switch.
This really lays out the balanced reality of it all. On one hand, you have some serious challenges, like plugging into ancient hospital computer systems and just getting people to change the way they've done things for decades. But on the other hand, the future is so exciting. I mean, imagine using AI to actually assess a surgeon's skill, not just their diploma, or having a verification network that works seamlessly across all 50 states. That's where all this is headed.
So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. Credentialing-as-a-Service takes one of healthcare's biggest bureaucratic headaches and turns it into a genuine strategic asset. It makes the whole system faster, cheaper, and ultimately safer for all of us.
And that really leaves us with one final big question. Credentialing was this huge, hidden problem that technology is now solving. It really makes you wonder, what other parts of our healthcare system are just sitting there waiting for their own digital cure? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.